The sterile cockpit rule is essential to ensure pilots focus on important tasks during taxiing, takeoff, landing, and all other important operations that take place below 10,000 MSL. The rule was first put into place in 1981 to help diminish the number of accidents caused by pilots and other crew members not paying attention during critical moments of operation. During flight, it's important to avoid any distractions below 10,000 MSL. Distractions come in different forms, and pilots should take care to notice them before they put themselves in dangerous situations. In the article, The Sterile Cockpit by Robert L. Sumwalt, they gave an example of a non essential call taking place. He stated, while being vectored in a busy terminal area, the captain of the following report called the company radio frequency to notify maintenance of a minor cabin indiscrepancy. As the reporter soon discovered, his absence from ATC frequency caused an overload with his first officer. Several ATC calls were missed. Anything from unnecessary calls, side conversations, and sightseeing can cause you to miss important information and put everyone on the flight's lives at risk. The importance of staying alert while flying can't be stressed enough. Having distractions such as flight attendants coming into the cockpit to have a conversation to sightseeing can cause fatal accidents. Side conversations during times of important operations can cause you to miss important information, taxiing the wrong areas, and misinterpret signs. Making sure to hold all non-essential conversations till you reach a safe altitude could save yours and many other lives. A recent example of what could happen if the sterile cockpit rule is broken happened on May 17th, 2021. A young pilot was overseeing a low-altitude pipeline portal flight in St. Louis, Michigan. This flight took place 474 to 800 feet AGL off to the right of the pipeline. The pilot's employer told investigators that the patrol flights are typically flown to the right of the pipeline to maintain an unobstructed view of the pipe. While conducting this flight, the pilot took out his phone to take a short Snapchat video. While doing so, he unknowingly switched to the left side of the pipe. 35 seconds after the post, the pilot attempted to avoid tower guide wires at the last minute. Unfortunately, the pilot was unsuccessful in his attempt. The wires separated his wing from the fuselage, and the plane hit the ground about 0.3 miles northeast of the tower. The crash that caused the sterile cockpit rule to be put in place was on September 11, 1974, when an Eastern Airline DC-9 crashed short of an airport in Charlotte, North Carolina, killing 72 people, 10 of which survived the impact but died to the fire that consumed the aircraft faster than they could leave their seats. The jet seemingly flew straight into the ground just 3 miles before the runway without anyone in the crew realizing anything was wrong. On this day, during their descent, they entered fog for just a few seconds before impacting the ground. Moments before this unfortunate impact, the pilots were having a casual conversation, asking, should Nixon be pardoned? And was that the Carlwinds amusement park tower poking out of the fog? These distractions led to the pilots misreading the altimeter and flying straight into the ground. The importance of the sterile cockpit rule could be expanding to more than just pilots. The U.S. Naval Institute talks about the benefits of having a similar rule around naval ground operations. When it comes to ground operations, the rule would look and sound different, but the idea of what the rule represents could save lives. In the article, Ground Operations Need a Sterile Cockpit Rule by the U.S. Naval Institute, they say, the sterile cockpit rule has valuable applications in any operation requiring high cognitive workload to execute a task and would bear considerable safety risk if the task was not performed correctly. Such tasks can include maneuvering a unit in contact with an enemy, countering improvised explosive devices, executing fire missions, inserting and extracting troops from a helicopter landing zone, and many others. Not only is the room extremely important to pilots, but other fields recognize the importance and want to find a way to implement the rule in their own operations to improve safety around their workplaces. Many other fields could benefit from having a similar rule. One other field that could benefit from having a sterile cockpit rule is healthcare and operating rooms. Any distractions during dangerous operations could be fatal for their patients. In conclusion, the sterile cockpit rule restricts all non-critical actions from taking place for certain periods of time, such as anything below 10,000 MSL, so a person has their undivided attention on the task at hand, ensuring that the task is done safely and to the best of their ability. Some airlines are taking it a step further, making the rule more strict by increasing the height from 10,000 MSL to their own company suggested heights. Making sure you keep yourself and everyone on board safe at all times is the most important task for any pilot in the cabin.